1.
Today's topic, because it's Wednesday, it's Stretch Wednesday. Today's topic is the #1 hip stretch for helping your back pain. A lot of back pain comes from the muscles that are not working the way they should. We've talked about the core, we've talked about the glutes. Now today we're going to talk about the hips. Don't break the TV. So why do we do this? We do this so you can make better healthcare decisions. Our goal is to help you live pain-free. Our goal is to eliminate back pain from the planet. And the only way we can do that is by educating you. If you have back pain, you need to watch our videos. We have a lot of videos. We treat a lot of back pain. We've been doing this for 23 years, and all we do is we treat back pain. We have a 9-step solution. One of our steps is the movement patterns in conjunction with stretches. We do what's called functional disc stabilization, and we're going to have to do a video about that because a lot of people say, what is it? We'll talk about what that is, but it allows for healing of the disc. So if you have a lot of disc problems, functional disc stabilization is the best thing for you. And there's scientific studies that validate that as well. So we'll give you some copies of the studies. But today is about the hip flexor. The hip flexor is the muscles in the front. The hip joint to be here, down this way right here. The muscles that come across the front of the hip here are what we call the hip flexors. And the hip flexor allows you to raise your leg up and down like this. The up position is the flex position. So the hip flexor is to stabilize the hip, but also stabilizes the back. So if you have overactive, it's kind of hard to see this, but this is what this is right here. Here's the hip flexor right here. If your hip flexors are tight, it's going to start to pull on your back. And it's going to create an environment that is not as stable as it should be, or unstable, or micro instability sometimes is what we call it. So we're talking about the hip and the tight muscles here and how it sometimes will decrease the range of motion, but it'll also create an unstable environment. So our goal is to really talk about the hip and work the hip. Part of what we talked about in one of our videos before is what we call lower cross syndrome. Lower cross syndrome is very, very, very important because a lot of people have it, they have no idea what it is, and it's not that hard to fix. Again, this is not a diagnosis. I'm not diagnosing you, nor am I offering up a prescription of care for you. We're not treating you. If you want to get treated, you have to come see us. This is education. This is educational purposes. Lower cross syndrome, facing this way, obviously. Tight muscles in the back, the low back, and tight muscles in the hip flexor. Today is about the hip flexor. Very often you'll get tight muscles here and weak muscles here. The glutes, which are the muscles in the back, get inhibited and they slowly turn off and get weaker, and the lower abdominal muscles get weak. This is called lower cross syndrome. We've talked about the stretch. We did that video before. We also talked about strengthening the glutes. We haven't talked a lot about strengthening the ab, and there's a very specific routine that you can do to strengthen your lower abs. Your lower abs will be right in here. Again, part of the lower cross. We're going to put these videos together in a sequence so you can better understand really about it, but if you do a little bit every day, your life will get a little bit better. We offer the tips, we offer stretches, and we offer exercises, and a combination of those 3 things will start to help you live a better life. Okay, but today is about lower cross and really about the hip flexor. The key is to stretch the hip flexor. I'm going to show you how that looks. So we have Dr. Amy, our physical therapist. She's going to show us, okay? So what you want to do is you want to put a chair out like this. You want to put your foot on the chair, and then the hip flexor is this muscle right here. So what she's going to do, she's going to put her foot on there, and then she's going to lean forward. And that leaning forward allows her to sort of go forward with this leg here, and then we're getting that stretch across the hip flexor. So as she's going forward with her leg here, okay, so we'll do it this way. As she goes forward this way, the leg comes back, and what it does is it stretches out the hip flexor. This is how we do it. It's not hard to do. So she's going to go forward a little bit right here. So right now we're getting the hip stretching right through here. You get it stretched there, so you go forward a little bit. You don't want your knee way over your foot. You just want to go forward enough to where you're kind of in alignment here, and you're getting the stretch across the hip flexor. Part of the lower cross syndrome. Okay, and you're going to hold it. You're going to do it for 20 seconds. You're going to hold 20 seconds. You're going to do it 3 times. So she's going to go a little further. You can see she's getting that right in the hip flexor there. Okay, But also, as she leans back here, so she's leaning, originally she was going forward and she was getting the hip, and now she's leaning back and she's getting more of the hip. And you should be able to feel it in your hip flexor. Also, it goes a little further, and you'll start to feel a little bit in your calf muscle. Calf muscle's right back here because your foot is pointed forward. Don't turn it in or out because that'll change everything. But it's forward like that. You're going to get the calf and you're going to get the hip flexor. That's how you stretch it. You do it 3 times and you hold it for 20 seconds each time you do it. This is phase 1. There are other phases. A little bit of the lunge, we talked about the lunge at one time, allows for the hip flexor as well to get stretched out. So that's the stretch today. It's the hip flexor stretch. We'll put these videos in a sequence, in a series, so you can see these in a playlist. So you have access to them, because it's all about the lower cross and making sure that the lower cross is in balance and that the muscles that are out of balance are functioning the way they should. So if you have back pain, you're not getting better, you need to come see us. We can solve it. If you have back pain that's not getting better, it's from the disc. We can talk about all the stretches and all the muscles, but if you have a problem in your disc and your disc is not getting better, then you need to come see us. I want you to share this information with your friends and family, and I want you to like our Facebook page, because we do these videos every night, every single night. Whether I want to do it or not, I do it. That's not true. That's funny. Right, Cody?
Yep.
Right. Okay, good. So also, all these videos are archived on our YouTube channel. So if you subscribe to our YouTube channel, you can see that there, and you can follow us on Instagram and follow us on Twitter. We're here for you. We solve back problems. There are educational tips, and trust me, if you do a little bit of this every day, you'll start to feel a little bit better. Okay, my disclaimer is I'm not treating you. Okay, but this is educational. The more you know about your back pain, the easier it is for you to get your back pain better. If you don't know anything, then you kind of run around in a loop and you never get better. Okay, the more you know, the easier it is for you to get better. That's it. So today's Wednesday, tomorrow is an exercise. I don't know which one, we'll figure it out tomorrow, but we'll see you then. So thank you, have a good night, subscribe to our channel, share our information, follow us. And the cameraman's turning off the camera any second now. He'll be done, ready to go. And we'll see you tomorrow night. Be very careful, stay out of trouble.